Welcome back to the show. You're watching NHL Now. It is the trade that everybody was talking about over the weekend. Pierre-Luc Dubois headed to Winnipeg. Patrik Laine, the headliner, going the other way. And to discuss this trade a little bit further, one guy who was very much involved in making this happen, the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Jarmo Kekäläinen. Jarmo, first off, thanks for making time for us on a Monday, no less, to chat and join the show. I have a feeling, I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe you stepped into this week, feeling a little lighter.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been as busy as it was at the end of the week last week, and that's the way it goes. We don't really have. I don't know what day of the week it is sometimes in this job, and it certainly doesn't end at 5 o'clock or start at 9. I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, it's that's 7 days a week. 24 hours a day the whole year, as far as I can tell now, with all professional sports. Let's get to this deal and take us through, if you can, like how things came together, because there have been a lot of reports that both you and Kevin Cheveldayoff have kind of had this deal in your pocket if you needed it at any point in time moving forward, that you had discussed it a while, and then I guess with the events of Thursday and Friday of last week that it kind of moved forward on your end. Give me the background, or give the viewers the background of kind of how long this was in the works and when it came to fruition finally on Saturday.
Yeah, there's ongoing dialogue between the GMs on various topics and players, and we always, every GM's thinking about ways to get their team better, and we talk about players and some ideas and throw them around, and we started talking about this a couple of weeks ago, and got a little busier after Thursday night's game and talked through the Friday several times. We had to do our due diligence with the other teams and make sure that we had all the options researched and put in order. And once we arrived at an order and that we were comfortable with, and Winnipeg was at the top, we started ironing out the details, and that took a little bit of time as well. And then Saturday morning, we finally had a deal done.
Jarmo, so you get Patrik Laine and Jack Roslovic. What did you get? How do you see those players fitting into your organization?
Well, I think it's important that we talk about both players. I think we've been excited about getting Jack Roslovic here. We've had interest in him ever since the draft, and every talk that I had with Kevin Cheveldayoff, I always mention his name, and he's probably sick of me already for mentioning it. And I was adamant from the start with Chevy that we wanted both of those players in this deal. And we've had some trouble scoring goals. We're a hardworking team that has to put a lot of work into scoring goals. We have a lot of skill here too, and we got a great back end that can get the puck to the forwards. But Patrick's probably one of the best finishers in the game, and our power play has had its struggles. I think he's one of the best power play players in the league. But Jack Roslovic's a big part of this, and we believe he can play center. We would have drafted him to be a center, and we're going to give him an opportunity to show us that he can play center, which is the position that he wants to play in this league. And we have big expectations for both players, and we're very excited.
And I think, too, there's an added layer of intrigue and excitement with a player like Jack, not because of what he can do on the ice, but also the fact that he's excited to go home. He's from there. He wants to be in that market. And when you look at a lot of these big-name superstar players that have left by choice over the last few years, I think it's great for the fan base that they've got a player coming back in this deal that they already know is genuinely, truly, really excited to be in Columbus. What are your thoughts on that, and how attractive does that make him on a different sort of level in terms of the product that you're putting on the ice for the fans?
Well, I think it's an added bonus, obviously, but I hate to hear that perception that there's out there that there's something wrong with Columbus. This is a great sports city with Ohio State football and Major League Soccer champions and the Columbus Blue Jackets, and we have unbelievable fans here. We have great support from our fans, and the ownership. I couldn't ask for more. All they want to do is win. They support us in all of our efforts when we're trying to build a team to win the Stanley Cup. And And our facilities is outstanding. Everybody always compliments us about how great the Nationwide Arena is. So I don't know where this misconception starts, where people be wanting to get out of here. No, we don't have the ocean, or we don't have 10 million people here. If those are the things that somebody wants, or play for somebody else when they get to unrestricted free agency, I'm going to wish them all the best, and I respect their decision. But this is a great city to play in, and we've had a winning team here now for a while. We've made the playoffs 4 times in a row. I don't know what more do you want to ask for as a professional hockey player?
Jarmo, you acquire now Patrik Laine, who is obviously a high-end player, like the player that you moved back in Pierre-Luc Dubois. His contract is coming to an end. What's the process for getting an extension done for Patrik Laine? Because that will really determine kind of where you guys are moving forward with this guy in your group.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about that at all. We have this year, we have 2 more years of his rights, and we started talking about it. The first phone call with him after the trade, and I told him we want to build a long-term relationship. He said he wants to build a long-term relationship. For me, that's a great start. There are other things that we have to iron out, and I'm sure that there's a great chance of that. And he's a good player. We look forward to having him here for a long time.
Jarmo, I had the privilege of playing for John Tortorella. I know that John Tortorella is a unique coach in that he's very honest, sometimes brutally so, but he wants so badly what's best for you and for the team. Did you have any conversation with Torts about the new guys coming in and his relationship with them, and how to foster that and make that as positive as it can be? Because Torts is an acquired taste at times.
But me and him have great conversations about players and hockey in general every day, and I get along with him. I'm a little bit similar to him, that I'd rather have somebody say it to my face, or I'd rather say it to somebody's face. If I don't have the guts to say it to his face, then don't say it behind his back. And that's the quality that sometimes gets Tortorella in heated conversations. But I think a lot of the players appreciated later on when they realized that everything that he had to say was in front of their face instead of behind their back. And I've always said that as a player, if you work and compete, that's all that matters. Those are the 2 things he won't compromise, and we have strong values as a team. He won't compromise those. If you live up to those values and you work and compete, you're fine. He's not going to pinpoint every mistake you make and be in your face if you just work and compete and live up to our values that we think make us a great team here.
Jarmo, while we have you, I have to ask you one question about this whole thing, because it has been one thing that I've been confused about, is he signs a 2-year deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets on December 31st, and then soon thereafter, there's this discussion of he wants out. Now, I didn't hear anything about the franchise moving anywhere, so why would he have signed that? Do you have any idea why you sign a deal like that if your intention is to leave?
Well, you have to be under contract to play in the National Hockey League, and that was part of our conversations. And for us to move him, if that was his request and wish, then he has to be under contract. And I was adamant about that. And it's very important, not just for the trade to happen, but the trade value as well. So we needed to get a contract done, and once we agreed on the term, it was very easy. It took us less than 10 minutes with Pat Brisson to get a deal done, and there was no difficulty at all. And we had different options on the table. We had a 2-year, 3-year, and 8-year deals that we proposed, and we finally agreed that 2-year it is. And like I said, then it took less than 10 minutes to get the deal done. That's $5 million AAV.
Jarmo, now that the deal is done, do you feel that maybe some of the distraction that might have been swirling around over the team is now removed? They can just focus on hockey. And when will these 2 players arrive? I think Laine's got some visa issues, which always take a little time. Roslovic, quarantine. When might they be able to play for you?
Jack Roslovic practiced with us today already, so we got him here right after the trade to get tested, and 48 hours, two negative tests, and he's able to join us, and we'll see if he plays tomorrow. You might want to give the guy a little bit of practice time. He's been practicing with the U16 and U18 Blue Jackets team here. We've watched them in our practice rink skating with them. It's a little bit different to get on the ice with the NHL players, so he might need a few practices before we put him in the lineup. But Patrick's visa issues the first we have to solve, and then we're going to send a plane to get him and take him to the embassy in Ottawa, I think it is, and or consulate, and get his visas onto his passport, and then he's going to come here and do the NHL protocol quarantine, and then he'll be ready.
Jarmo, one more before we let you go. Patrik Laine back in Finland is a massive, massive superstar. I got to imagine that your phone was blowing up when this went down, just from people back home being excited that he is going to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, how many messages did you get? And, you know, for people at home that don't know, how big of a superstar is Patrik Laine there?
Oh, he's a big star. He's been ever since he was 16, 17 years old. And the World Junior was in Finland that year when they won it. That was a huge deal. Packed the rink, and those guys were superstars in Finland for weeks after that. And he also led his club team to a championship in his draft year. So he's done a lot there at young age. I don't remember too many players doing what he's done and accomplished what he's accomplished before he left to the NHL as an 18-year-old, and played in the World Cup for Finland, and I was part of the management team before he even got to the NHL. So he's done a lot at his age, but I think that he's still got another levels to get to, and that's what we're excited about.
Yeah, I got to imagine a lot of people in Finland adding some Laine Blue Jackets jerseys to go along with their World Junior Laine jerseys.
Those requests are coming in already.
I have no doubt about that. Jarmo, thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. Best of luck this season. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.